Hello and welcome to the Royal Horticultural Society's Chelsea Flower Show, an event supported by M&G Investments.
After the horticultural high of last year's centenary celebrations, the most famous flower show in the world is just a few hours away from kicking off the next Chelsea century.
Tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock, the gates of the Royal Hospital grounds will swing open to reveal the show gardens and floral exhibits to the world's press, stars of stage and screen, VIPs and of course Her Majesty the Queen.
But stay with us for the next hour and you won't have to wait that long, because tonight we're bringing you an exclusive first look round, and there is plenty to look forward to, isn't there, Joe?
There certainly is. It's 100 years since the First World War started, so there's some gardens with that theme that are dotted throughout the showground. And then we've got 50 years, the anniversary celebration of 50 years Britain in Bloom, which is fantastic.
And there's also a really big focus this year on the young first-time designers, lots of them here on the show gardens, including 4 or 5 who are under the age of 30. Hugo Bugg, this is his garden. He's only 27 years old.
I know, they're everywhere, these young designers. They're all really good looking as well. They're taking over Chelsea. Is this your first time here?
It's not my first time at Chelsea. I've been here many times over the year as a visitor, but I've never had the pleasure of working with you. And I have to say, it's been wonderful just being here the last few days and watching it all come together and seeing all that hard work that goes into these gardens. It's fantastic. And right now the showground is a scene of organised chaos as exhibitors make the most of the final hours to perfect their stands and gardens, and they're not finished, which is why we're not wearing shoes. At least I'm not.
Well, I'm wearing 2 pairs of shoes, in fact. Well, I didn't want to ruin Hugo's garden, but there's no way the nation is going to see my feet, honestly. I know, but it's nice and cool under here. But out there amongst them is Mr. Alan Titchmarsh. This year he's celebrating his 50th anniversary in horticulture, and to celebrate he's only gone and designed his own show garden. His last one was way back in 1985. It's called From the Moors to the Sea, and it's a celebration of flowers that also marks the 50th anniversary of RHS Britain in Bloom. I'm looking forward to catching up with him tomorrow night.
Well, we have over 12 hours of coverage for you this week, so you won't miss a single moment. And it starts right now. So sit back and clear your diary for Chelsea 2014.
In the next hour, we join Clematis Supremo Raymond Everson in his nursery in Guernsey and meet the possible future head of the family business.
Do you know what it's called?
Rebecca.
Oh, you're clever. You're so clever, aren't you?
Yeah.
Chris Beardshaw's here to explain why your vote for Chelsea's best garden is just as important as the RHS judges.
And Monty Don will be joining us for a first look around and telling us what he's looking forward to this week.
This year there are 15 large show gardens vying for our attention. This morning, in the midst of the last-minute preparations, Joe and I went
Walking through.
This is Adam Frost's garden. It's called A Time to Reflect. And Adam is a seasoned Chelsea designer, so you'd expect a confident design. And that's exactly what this is. He knows his brief and he knows how he wants to get there. He starts off with this beautiful pavilion at the back. He creates a lovely shady space underneath. And I love the way the sides are open so you can see the woodland planting behind. And it's got a green roof on the top too. And as you walk down the garden, immediately you've got 2 choices which way you want to go. For old folk like me, I've got a nice flat path with some steps in. But if I was younger, say I was a kid, I'd want to jump across the water on those huge boulders that have been set within it. And that's the whole concept behind this garden, really. It's about getting families together in an outside space. Adam was really influenced by his father's love of gardening and love of nature, and he also wants to inspire the next generation. He sees the garden as somewhere to chill out and just get away from it all and connect with plants and nature. So he's got this buttercup meadow here, which is going to bring in lots of wildlife. And in fact, the planting throughout this garden is very wildlife friendly. The upper story is created by these lovely multi-stem hornbeams which create a dapple shade beneath. And then we've got a very blue theme running through. We've got the Iris sibirica hovering over the plants and the lovely geranium mayflower as well, which works beautifully well with some of the yellows in here. And of course there's somewhere to sit. You can't relax in a garden unless you've got somewhere to sit, but again, reflecting on nature and connecting with it. So we've got this beautiful oak seats. They're absolutely enormous, pieces of sculpture in their own right, but incredibly tempting to want to sit down on as well. Now, they're right up against it, these guys, you know. You can see they haven't finished the garden yet. Adam's, you know, he's got his bum in the air and he's planting away, and they're just finishing towards the back there. They're putting the turf around the outside of the garden, making it look really prim and proper for the assessors before judging. And I've no doubt that he's going to pull it through. Adam's got loads of gold medals at Chelsea, and I wouldn't be surprised if he got another one here.
I'm on Matthew Keatley's Help for Heroes Hope on the Horizon garden, and this is his very first Chelsea show garden. It is spectacular. It's also very personal to you, isn't it?
It is. It's a subject that's very close to home. My younger brother serves with the RAF Regiment and is currently on his 5th tour of duty in Afghanistan. And it was his previous tour that led me to come up with the concept for this. He formed part of a medevac crew, which was picking up guys off the front line, injured men and women of the armed forces, and bringing them back to safety. And really it was a combination of that and the fact that in the media all we hear about is the trauma and devastation at one end and the miracle story at the other if we're lucky. So I set out to explore what happens in between, how they get through recovery.
And this really is a journey to recovery, isn't it? I mean, it's a beautiful avenue here of hornbeams. It's the shape of the military cross. Just explain how this journey shapes up.
So the granite I've used all the way through, that's a representation of the soldiers' physical well-being. So as you move through the garden and the soldiers move through recovery, the granite becomes more and more refined as you walk through.
And you've got the lovely herbs, haven't you? As the soldiers come onto the garden, you've got these lovely sort of thyme and rosemary and wonderful scents.
That's it. There's a subtle sensory undertone throughout the whole planting, and actually the herbs have been used along the fringes so that when the visually impaired use the garden or guys in wheelchairs use the garden, they'll knock past them, brush past them and kick up the fragrance.
And you come from the very rough granite to this area, which is just beautiful. And this is slightly smoother granite, so they're making their journey through.
They are.
Wonderful, these grasses and the catmint.
I'm glad you like it. This is actually one of my favourite bits of the garden. There's something really aesthetically pleasing about the hard lines, the solidarity of the granite and the soft, gently moving grasses through that space.
And then as you move on through this avenue, you come to the section that you've called Walking on Water. Why is that?
I have, well, for a lot of the soldiers at the beginning of recovery, it's seemingly impossible that they're going to get to this point. So that's really a reflection of that. The fact that they have is almost a miracle in some cases, which is why I've stepped the granite on top of the water. It looks like it's just about floating.
You've also got the box in the water, which you just don't do. You don't put box in water, do you?
You don't know. The worst thing for it, in fact, is to overwater, and that's another play on that idea, which is the fact that a lot of people think it is impossible for the guys to recover and get to this point. So that's why I've put the Buxus in the water, to try and represent that.
And then finally you come onto this beautiful area here with the lovely sculpture, the real sort of hope there on the horizon. It is stunning. I mean, it's your first garden. How stressful has it been?
There have been moments, but to be honest, yeah, there have been a couple.
Everyone has moments.
I know they do, but I think in my case, in my situation, because it's the first, ignorance has been bliss. I haven't really had any precedents to go on. It's just been head down, focus, and try and hit the deadline, which we have. So. And
when it's over this garden, it goes straight to a Help for Heroes recovery centre, so the injured soldiers really will be able to benefit from it.
Absolutely. That's one of the best things about this entire project is not only does the garden represent recovery, it's going to be used in recovery at one of the recovery centres for the guys.
Well, Matt, I know you're going for goals, so good luck with it.
We'll see. Thank you very much.
Matt might be a new kid on the block, but designer Paul Harvey Brooks has become a regular face here at Chelsea in the small garden category. This year he's decided to supersize his design and is here with his first large show garden. The theme is Renaissance and it was inspired by his time working in Italy. But can you create an Italian garden in Britain? We joined Paul closer to home at Eyford Manor in Wiltshire, a triumphant example of an Italian garden created by Edwardian gardener Harold Pito.
Whenever you make a garden at Chelsea, it's nerve-wracking. There's a huge pressure to do really well. What worries me is whether people stand and look at it and they feel like they're stood in Italy and not stood in London. And I hope that it will all come together on the day. When I first left university, which was quite a while ago, I went and worked in a garden in Italy, which was one of the few complete Renaissance gardens. So to be able to use and be inspired by the Renaissance and its various periods is a personal dream come true, and something that I can draw on at a really personal level. When you come here to Eyford Manor, you can see exactly that Harold Peto, who is probably one of the best Edwardian designers that we have, and we kind of forget just what a genius he is. He took the classic Italian garden and he's made it sit harmoniously in the English landscape and made it something that when you walk around you'd think, I would quite like to live with that. I think the really clever thing about this garden is there's so much attention in the detail that you take it almost for granted, and it flawlessly makes you believe that you could be in Italy. If you start here in the loggia, there are the bas-relief sculptures, there's the grotto, and it's all in undressed walls, and that's really crucial because a lot of these buildings would have been lined with marble, and then the marble would have been removed, and you would have had quite a rough surface. So that immediately kind of gives you the sense that that's how you would think it should be, and you don't question that it's kind of been built to give you that sensation. When you move further into the garden, you can see the really tall columns and the colonnades. They are typical of the Imperial Renaissance, that classic period. It says very strongly this is a wealthy person's garden. It's about creating status, and the Imperial Renaissance really was about status. And there's sculpture in this garden which to a modern eye is an odd size or in an odd place, but actually they were very keen to use sculpture that was smaller to make the space feel larger. One of the things I really love about the whole Renaissance ideal is in the late Renaissance, this idea of connecting garden to broader landscape. And walking around the garden, I noticed these poplar in the background, and they look so right for this garden because you have the imperial colonnade here in the stonework, then you have the very definitely planted trees, and then further out you have those upright poplar, and the three connect the spaces together. And in a nutshell, the garden, the landscape, united in that fashion is the late Renaissance period. So in this part of the garden, Peto's been really clever, and the way it's done is a total illusion. You're made to feel it's very tempting, you want to go and see what that object in the distance is, and it's a journey, and it's made to feel like it's a lot further than it should be. When you come towards it, to maintain that illusion, it's made quite difficult to get to. Each step's a slightly different height, they're different widths, and we're likely to trip or we feel a bit unsafe about it. So we stay where we are, and that way the illusion's maintained and it still feels tempting and we still feel that we've experienced it. The one thing which I think unites all of the Renaissance is the sheer romance and beauty. And that's the bit that I want to take away and unify my garden with. And I think how I'm going to do that is through the planting principally. It will be very soft, there'll be greys and lilacs, of soft pinks. And with that, we'll be combining the colours of the building, the beautiful soft sandstone, which will be golden yellow, and then the layers of paint, which will be suggestive of ageing, that you see in the deep umber and burnt colours that we identify with that period. So I think those two things together, with the sheer volume of reflections coming off of the water, should help to create this hazy romantic vision, which hopefully people will fall in love with.
Paul, here we are on your creation. It's incredibly formal.
It's based on 3 Renaissance gardens in Italy, and we kind of draw inspirations from the progression of style through there. So it does feel quite formal, but it also has references to kind of progression into nature and into a more flamboyant style in the imperial period.
Because you've done quite a few small gardens here, and now you sort of stepped up a gear and you've gone for Main Avenue, one of these big gardens. How is that as a designer, having to change your scale?
It's interesting. They have different challenges. The small gardens leave you no margin to hide anything, and these gardens let you tell a much bigger story. They're more generous. You can kind of devote space. So for argument's sake, this pool is twice the size of a fresh garden, so it's slightly obscene, but you know, you can get away with it, and it allows you to create this sense that it's somewhere else.
Yes, you completely flooded a large part of the site, but it draws the eye. It's got lovely reflective qualities and draws your eye all the way through, 23 metres of these gardens?
Yeah.
Towards the loggia.
Yeah.
And that is a fantastic colour. What's the idea behind that colour? Why did you want to use that in particular?
Well, one of these three villas is painted that colour, and I think it's really important. We're saying that this garden is inspired by the Renaissance, so to paint it something that would kind of be more English, if you like, would anglicise the whole garden, and you wouldn't get that sense that you had travelled abroad, that you had escaped the everyday life. So that's a really crucial colour to me, and it kind of really tells the story.
And it intensifies the greens of the plants around it, and when the sun shines like this, it does transport you to Italy.
Yes, well, I hope so. That's what I hope. Other people kind of feel that sense as well.
Yeah, how deep's that water?
60 centimetres.
60 centimetres. It looks very inviting on a hot day like this. If you, have you got any ideas of sort of having a little dip at some point? Maybe?
Maybe when the show's closed.
When you've got your medal, you can jump in there.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Thank
Paul.
you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, Paul's road to Chelsea has been helped significantly by none other than our own Chris Beardshaw. You discovered him, really, didn't you, at the Malvern Flower Show? You've been his mentor. You must be very proud.
Yeah, I mean, it's very proud to see anyone's career progressing as a result of all of the input from other people, and you know, I was lucky to be involved in that process with Paul. You know, it's wonderful, but a big step up to go from small gardens, which Paul has executed here before, to a large garden on Main Avenue. You know, the mechanism that you have to use, the thought processes you go through, the sheer quantity of plants and the confidence you have to really deliver in these sorts of gardens, I think it's a real challenge for anybody, but we've all been through it. I mean, that's the whole point of somewhere like Chelsea.
And here we are on another show garden with an Italian twist as well. This has been designed by Tommaso Del Buono and Paul Gazovitz. What do you make of it?
Well, it's a beautiful piece of work, isn't it? I mean, it's everything you would expect of an Italian garden, influenced by the Italian Renaissance with a modernity twist to it. It's a very masculine garden, plenty of sharp edges and geometry to it, but the femininity of the planting is really quite breathtaking. There's soft blues and acid yellows and greens, you know, really lovely piece of work. And it's all about what's left out rather than what's included, and I think that's a great lesson for anyone exhibiting at Chelsea.
I love all the greens and the box and the euphorbia and the fennel, and it's so delicate, we're not even allowed to stand on it right now, are we? But viewers can get a much closer look at all the large gardens with your help.
Yes, I mean, one of the things that the judges do, of course, is they pass opinion on the gardens, but all viewers, and visitors to the show in fact, can not only get an insight via the red button. Every day Anne-Marie Powell and I will be revealing 5 more in detail, and then viewers will be able to vote on their favourite in the BBC RHS People's Choice Award, which is the coveted award, really. That's the one voted by gardeners, for gardeners, about gardens.
And you would know that because you won it last year.
Well,
didn't you?
I have a clutch. Yes, I have a clutch.
Well, thank you. You can start pressing the red button at midnight tonight to find Chris and Anne-Marie Powell taking an in-depth look at the first gardens. And there will be 5 to consider every day, and you'll get your chance to vote when the lines open at 12 noon on Thursday.
Of course, Chelsea's not all about the gardens. It's also home to the largest marquee in the world. It's called the Great Pavilion, and if you take a look from above, you'll see that it dwarfs the gardens and takes up to 2/3 of the showground. It completely dominates the show. In here, you'll find over 100 nurseries with growers and showers who have travelled from the far corners of the globe to exhibit their horticultural excellence. And amongst them, keeping an eye on all this year's floral treasures, is a floral treasure herself, Carol Klein. Lovely to see you, Carol.
Lovely to see you, and thanks for the compliment.
So what are you looking forward to this year?
Well, I'm looking forward to the same thing I do every year, but every year it's different. You just get astonished by the fact that all these exhibitors come year after year, and yet they manage to do something completely new. You know, fantastic innovation everywhere, lots of new plants.
Yeah, keeping it fresh is tough. Is there one exhibit you head for, one type of exhibit?
Well, I have to confess, of course, it's herbaceous stuff and woodlanders, kind of things I used to show myself back in the day.
So you won all those gold medals with?
A few.
Well, we're not letting Carol out of this pavilion. All week, she'll be bringing you news and views on the most talked about exhibits, plants and flowers every day. And right now, Carol, you're off to look at some of the show's highlights.
Yeah, I've been waiting all year for this.
I'll see you later.
Look at this. I'm surrounded by exotic flowers from all around the world. Where else could I be but in the Great Pavilion? What a magnificent show. This is the orchid display from Thailand, put on by Nonuk Pattaya Tropical Gardens. It's taken 16 people 5 whole days to get to this stage. They've been working 12-hour shifts, and if that wasn't enough, when they get chucked out at night, they've been taking work home to their hotel rooms. The whole display is made up of 2 orchids, Vanda and Dendrobiums. I just think it's one of the most exquisite sights you could possibly see, and it couldn't be anywhere else except under this roof. As we all know, it's been 100 years since the beginning of the First World War, and this is Birmingham City Council's wonderful exhibit to commemorate that fact. It's about Birmingham's contribution to that war, and here we are in the trenches. There are rats running around. Over here, amongst this rough-hewn wood, this little plant, Alternanthera, imitates the mud pressed in between these beautiful wooden supports. And over here is a periscope, so you can see just what the enemy are up to. But do you know what? I think there's a dogfight going on. And I was right. Here's a Sopwith camel in pursuit of the Red Baron's triplane. And on this side, a further contribution to the part that Birmingham played. The train, the City of Birmingham, brought injured troops back to the city where they convalesced. The bike, it's a BSA, British Small Arms. Not only did that firm produce vast amounts of armaments, but also supplied the bicycles that ran along the top of the trenches communicating. I think the whole thing is just wonderful, and this planting is perfection. I'll tell you what, 3 cheers to Birmingham. Hip hip hooray, hip hip hooray, hip hip hooray. How about this for wall-to-wall colour? It's positively retina-searing. This is South West in Bloom's celebration of 50 years of Britain in Bloom. And right in the centre is Parsley the lion. It's not made of parsley though, it's made of Lysimachia and Alternanthera. And I'll tell you what, he doesn't look all that fierce either, does he? Part of South West in Bloom's message is all about growing your own. And you could hardly have a better advertisement for doing just that than this magnificent display. Where better to end than on Hilliers' stand? Hilliers are a Chelsea institution. They've been here since the year dots, and this year their stand doesn't disappoint. In fact, it's better than ever, and it really reflects the special exuberance of this year's spring. And nothing more gorgeous than this glorious Cornus Florida rainbow. It's got these beautiful bracts which attach themselves at the top, making the whole shrub look as though it's hung with Chinese lanterns. Well, it and all these other glorious plants that adorn the stand should ensure that this is Hilliers' 69th consecutive gold medal. The very best of luck to them, and I hope everybody here gets the medals that they so richly deserve.
There are nursery men and women who have been exhibiting in here for years. You could say many have grown up under this roof. Raymond Everton's been showing his clematis since England won the World Cup in 1966, and he scored his first gold in his 20s. He spent 4 decades breeding, introducing and cultivating one of our nation's favourite climbers. But what are his future plans for the Everton Empire? Who in the family will grow up and grow on his famous plants? We joined him last month in Guernsey to find out.
I suppose if I look back at the highlights over the years, I guess getting my first Chelsea gold medal, and that was, I think, tremendously exciting, but I remember it because we hadn't thought about turf or anything like that, and I had to cut the grass with scissors, and my fingers were so sore, so that I remember. But I think really the last 3 years at Chelsea, with the archways that we've created with the clematis, that has been very rewarding because the public enjoyed walking through, and I guess we must have been on more Facebooks than one can even imagine. Certainly getting the 25th Chelsea Flower Show gold medal was really, really very exciting, but the greatest compliment was that Guernsey Post decided to commemorate that event with 6 postage stamps. That was very nice indeed, and I'm really honoured to be honoured in that way. My eldest 2 daughters live and work in England. My youngest daughter Francisca works here in Guernsey. Of course, my daughters were really pretty insistent on that they had clematis named after them, and Clematis serosa Freckles was named originally after my daughter Rebecca, because when Rebecca was 18 she had lots of freckles, but about 7 or 8 years ago Rebecca said, "Please Dad, can I have a Rebecca? Nobody knows that I'm Freckles," and it's the most stunning clematis and is our bestseller. I'm thrilled today because Rebecca and my grandson Freddie are flying in from Birmingham.
Oh, that's nice.
I constantly get emails from Freddie telling me about his gardening and what he does and his love of plants, and very recently he's actually said, "Grandad, I want to take over your business when I'm older," so we're all waiting anxiously to see what he thinks about our clematis.
There's lots of nice different coloured clematis here. Blue ones, nice red one.
And do you know what it's called?
Rebecca.
Oh, you're clever. You're so clever, aren't you?
Yeah.
So Freddie, you decided that we'd like to cross this flower with that flower. Can you tell me why you've chosen the different flowers?
Well, I like red as my favourite colour, and white's nice and bright, so I thought them two might be a bit creative.
I think that's a very good, they'd be very creative. So shall I show you how we do this?
Definitely.
Okay, so here we go. So look, first we take a bud like this one.
Yeah.
And what I have to do here, I have to take off all of the sepals, and remember the clematis don't have petals, they have sepals. So I'm going to take off all the sepals, like that, very carefully. And so we're going to take the anthers off as well. In a moment we'll get down to the center, which is called the style. And when we get to the style, we'll stop cutting the anthers off, because I want to then bring some pollen from the red one that you've chosen. You can see all the pollen blowing around now. Isn't that really great?
Yeah.
Okay, so we take the pollen from there and I transfer it onto there, so that if we've got it right will help to create a new clematis. But we want to make sure that we don't get any pollen from another clematis flower onto it. So what we do, we take the bag like that and we put the bag over the top. The white one that you've chosen, this semi-double one, and the red one, those are the parents of the new one. And then we have to wait, then fingers crossed, we'll have another new clematis.
Do you think that another thing that white and red makes them pink?
I don't know. Do you think? I think that's a good idea. It's a good guess, isn't it?
Yeah, white and pink, definitely.
I think we can see if it makes a pink one.
Ding, ding.
It's been really a great thrill today to have Rebecca and Freddie come and visit the nursery here in Guernsey. Very, very observant young man. He's got marvellous taste and good judgment, I think. It's very, very special to have someone like Freddie who has that interest and that keenness and will keep horticulture alive for the Eversons, I think.
So Freddie, your first time ever at Chelsea.
Yeah,
Is it exciting?
really exciting.
And how did you get in here? Must have got special permission.
Special permission of my granddad.
Grandad organised it for you.
Yeah,
And what do you think of his exhibit?
it's really good.
Yeah. Full of clematis, isn't it, surprisingly? So Raymond, this year you've gone for clematis in pots, or clematis that will grow in pots solely.
Yes, Joe, I thought, because so many people have small gardens and patio gardens or maybe even balconies, so we're showing all the clematis that we're showing this year can be grown in pots and containers, even the very lowest, smallest ones for balconies.
Yeah. And Fred, have you got a favourite on the exhibit? A favourite here?
Ice blue.
Ice blue. No, that must be a blue one.
No, it's a white one.
It's a white one.
A bit of blue on.
White with a bit of blue on. And you now know how all these clematis are bred, don't you?
Yeah.
It's quite complicated, isn't it?
Yes, he did some breeding work in Guernsey, didn't we, Freddie? We did some pollination and then we did some selection work too. And he was really good, Joe. He chose exactly the best ones.
Because I saw you were trying to breed a red one with a white one.
Yeah.
Were you trying to get some Arsenal colours in there, were you?
I was trying to get a different colour.
Is that pink or something? Is that how you do it? Just like mixed colours? It's like painting
Yeah.
with plants, I guess. And so is that what you want to do? Do you want to get involved in the family business when you're a bit older?
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting involved in it now, really, aren't you, I suppose? But can you see yourself getting into gardening and plants and growing clematis?
Quite fast.
Yeah? Is that what you want to do?
He's a great gardener already, and his vegetables and his potatoes, and you've got a conker tree, aren't you, Freddie, that you grow as well.
So it's not just clematis that you're obsessed
he
with?
grows super vegetables.
Yeah. And what do you think of Grandad? Because he's won lots of gold medals, Are you proud of him?
Yeah, really proud. Absolutely proud.
And that might be something in the future that you might want to do, win a gold medal. So you do get a prize as part of the competition as well. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
And how do you feel, Raymond? It must be fantastic having someone, family.
Yeah, I'm really thrilled that Freddie is such a keen gardener and learning gardening and so professional at this gardening work already. So, no, that's a really great thrill, Joe.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, good luck with the pots.
Thank you.
Freddie, really lovely to meet you. Have a great day here at Chelsea. Really enjoy yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Oh, lovely. I think we might be seeing more of Freddie. He could possibly be a future star of Chelsea. We will be talking to plenty more of the specialist growers in the Great Pavilion across the week starting tomorrow. And Nikki Chapman and Andy Sturgeon are going to be here with a new extended show.
We are very excited to be back, starting at 3 p.m, a bump 45 minutes long. We've got Christine Walkden. She's going to be showing us her top 10 plants throughout the week.
That's right, and also Rachel the Tame is going to be doing these planting recipes. So if you think about the way that you might choose the ingredients for a meal, Rachel's going to be picking all the different combinations to make a fantastic planting scheme.
Yeah, she's talking Mediterranean mezes and chocolate-inspired plants on Thursday. I'm looking forward to that one.
And I'm going to be visiting all the gardens, large and small, throughout the show. And we've also invited some familiar faces here who are going to be performing in an unfamiliar role. So there's going to be some people that you'll recognise from stage and screen, and we're going to be having them here and asking them about their passion for gardens.
To make it extra special, we do have a feature called Mum and Me. We've asked them to bring along their mums that horticulture inspired them when they were growing up. So we're kicking off with Anna Maxwell Martin on Monday. Tuesday we've got Gillian Clary, so that's going to be quite funny, isn't it? And the beautiful Darcy Bustle on Wednesday with her Mum and Me.
And I have got Benedict Cumberbatch, Sherlock himself, tomorrow, BBC One, tomorrow night. You've got 6 Chelsea gold medals. I mean, did your love of gardening come through your mother, learning to garden with her?
Oh, it certainly did, because when we were growing up, my brothers and my sister, we were just outside in the garden all the time, and gardening was going on all around us, so I kind of just got it by osmosis and picked up all this stuff without even really realising it at the time.
It's amazing how it influenced you. We had a really 70s garden, flat lawn, rose bushes, but I was given a little corn and I grew rhubarb and carrots and sweet peas, and I've got such fond memories of those early years. I must have been like 5 or 6 years of age.
Oh, it's lovely. It's often how it is, isn't it? You start to love gardens through your parents.
Yeah, it's so true.
My mum had to garden around me and my brother, who were playing football in our Arsenal shirts, and we only had a very small lawn with traditional borders around the outside and a lovely lilac tree in the corner, but basically we just trashed the garden. Sorry, Mum, but your love of plants did rub off on me, and I did turn into a half-decent garden. I hope to think so. Anyway, to give us a flavour of what's to come this week, earlier our very own Sophie Rayworth took a look around the show with her mum, Jenny Rayworth, who happens to be a former florist and very keen gardener.
Mum, this garden is a bit like a flashback to my childhood. It's so like the garden that you've had for 40 years. You've still got now the yew and these wonderful geraniums.
These geraniums are wonderful. These are the herbaceous geraniums, and they come up every year, and they're in lots of different colours. I mean, they are wonderful. I love them.
Hosta halcyon. Do you remember
Oh,
those?
yes.
Those are the ones I planted in my garden, and I was on the phone to you the next day because
All eaten by the slugs. All gone. That's so sad. It's horrible when that happens. It's awful. I really love tulips. They're my favourite cut flower, and I think they're absolutely beautiful. These I'm not so keen on. I don't like the sort of frill on them. I like that. You see, that's Queen of Night.
You've got lots of those at home, haven't you?
I like that pure form. It's much better.
Now here behind us, white lilies. I mean, when I look at those, that just reminds me of being about 10 and our conservatory being full of lilies when you were working as a florist and you were doing weddings and all kinds of things.
You were a great help though, because I used to get you wiring things and doing
wiring
things.
the gerberas.
Yes,
Oh, yes.
absolutely.
So, Mum, what I need is a climbing rose for the back of our house, which has got to go in a pot, though, unfortunately, because it's on a terrace. And that rambling rector, I mean, you had that in your garden. I love that.
No, you can't have that. No, you can't have that. Rambling nectar, it is so vigorous, it's so strong, and they will bring a tree down. I mean, they really will. Oh, yes, absolutely. I've known people.
Well, what should I do then? What do I just want something really beautiful.
Look
and
at
delicate.
this. This is City of York. I think that's beautiful.
That is lovely.
And I think that is a repeat flower.
And will
Lovely.
grow in a pot on a terrace.
I think it will grow in a pot on a terrace. You've got to keep it very well watered. You've really got to do that. This is my very favourite artisan garden. I think this is beautiful.
You've got lots of topiary in your garden, haven't you?
We've got lots of topiary, but that's Dad's department.
That's Dad's
I'm not
department.
allowed to touch the topiary.
Now, how about this? Mum, this, I have to say, has got to be one of my favourite show gardens already. This is Cleve West's Paradise Garden. It's wonderful.
Absolutely fantastic. Just look at the colour. I mean, the way he has done lots of repeat planting, purple hesperus, alliums, and it's
that's
beautiful.
beautiful, yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. What a wonderful place.
It's rather lovely here as well, with the sound of the water. I think we could stay here all day. Let's stay here all day, Mum, and chat.
All we need is a nice cup of tea.
So, Sophie, is your mum always telling you what to do?
She is always telling me what to do, yep. And I am always, to be fair, ringing her up for advice. I mean, I was on the phone just last week asking her because the snails ate my hostas. And I was straight on the phone to my mother and she said coffee grounds. Whether that's going to work or not, I don't know.
That's one of many techniques. So as a child, you were surrounded by plants and gardens and cut flowers, everything. It must have been fantastic.
It was a wonderful way to grow up. I mean, my mother became a florist when I was just 6, so we spent our whole childhood with a sort of kitchen table covered in, gypsophila and gerberas and oasis. And then as a teenager, I was dragged around a lot of London, having to water plants that she delivered to offices. And
You say dragged around. Did you not enjoy it? Did you get roped roped into making things?
It was kind of dragged at 14. Is that really what you want to be doing on a Sunday morning? But, you know, I look back on it with very fond memories, of course.
Yeah. And now, have you got a garden now?
I have a very small miniature garden. I mean, I live in London, it's 30 foot, but I love my garden, and my parents are often coming around there telling me what to do, what to plant, and occasionally I let them cut it back, hack it back, as I once said.
Hack it back? No, they are serious gardeners.
No,
they prune. They prune, they don't hack.
They once, well, I thought it was hacking. I know they said it was pruning, but I hardly spoke to my mother for 2 days afterwards. I was so upset about it. But no, it's been fantastic. But talking of small gardens, because every year at Chelsea, of course, there is an opportunity for designers to showcase their skills in the small garden category. These gardens may be half the size and half the budget of the larger designs over on Main Avenue. But make no mistake, they still make an impact. Over the years, new designers have also used them to launch their Chelsea careers and make a name for themselves. Toby Buckland has been taking a look.
There are 17 small gardens at Chelsea this year, 10 fresh and 7 artisan designs. Now the artisan gardens tell a story or capture an idea using recycled or natural materials and lots of plants. And I know this is going to sound hackneyed, but the standard has just never been higher. They are simply breathtaking this year. Just look at this, isn't it fabulous? You wouldn't believe that this was just a patch of grass a few weeks ago, and it tells a story. It's called the Potter's Garden. It was designed by Francesca Morel and Emma Page. And it tells a tale of 2 potters who worked their kiln before the First World War, then went off to the conflict, miraculously returned against the odds to carry on potting. There's symbolism everywhere. There's pots with names and dates on them, poetry running along the front. Even the planting has symbolism in it. Sanguine reds of granny's bonnets and thistles. These are called Cirsium, great cottage garden flowers. I love the honesty. That's an unusual plant to see here at Chelsea. And even a bit of quaking grass, which is very apt for people fighting in a trench. For me, this garden's more than just smart and beautiful. It's also very moving. Alistair Baldwin's Tour de Yorkshire Garden celebrates 2 things. The magnificence of the counties from its hawthorn-topped windy moors and of course the chic of the Yorkshire cities. It also pays homage to the Tour de France that starts off in Leeds this year. There's bike wheels set in the walls, and even the pond is shaped like a velodrome. This is a garden that's going to be loved by mammals. That's middle-aged men in Lycra who go out cycling on the weekend. But it'll also be enjoyed by people like me who love craft. And I love this cantilevered seat with a sawn stone spliced into this rugged boulder. So tricky to do well. Now, I love this level of detailing. You don't see it everywhere, and often it goes unnoticed. But here, it's done really well. While the artisan gardens are 6 metres wide and 5 metres deep, they're fresh gardens, well, they're narrow little strips, 3 metres across and as deep as you like. Now, over the years, many of them have been absolutely bonkers, and that's because horticulture and solid gardening isn't as important as creativity. And what unites them is that they're at the cutting edge of garden design. Now this is the most high maintenance of all the gardens here at Chelsea, and it's designed by Sarah Eberly. Now she's established, she's respected, and she's won Golden Best in Show for large gardens at Chelsea in the past. Her client is Gucci, and the garden is a growing representation of that up there, the Gucci Flora scarf. Now I say it's high maintenance because these aren't planters with flowers growing in soil, they're vases with cut flowers stuffed inside, and every morning they have to be replaced and freshened up with new. There are basket plants here though, and the majority of them are this Euphorbia Diamond Frost. It's usually seen in hanging baskets. It has a sparkle and shimmer that any fashion designer would be proud of. This garden or art installation was created by Sophie Walker, who at 28 is the youngest female designer here at Chelsea ever. and it's very clever. Because what you do is you sit on this bench and you look at this flat screen TV that's filled with plants. And they're not just ordinary trees or shrubs. Oh no, they've been collected from the other side of the world by modern day plant hunters, Sue and Bledin Wynne Jones from Krug Farm Plants, nursery people I really respect. And what's so interesting is that this is actually a portal onto the wild.
This is another one of the fresh gardens. It's called Wellchild Garden, designed by Olivia Kirk. Toby, lovely to see you in this very pretty garden. All these wonderful irises and these lovely purple thistles. Gorgeous.
It really is lovely. And as a fresh garden, it's unusual because you could pick it up and put it in your own garden and it would work quite well. I mean, a lot of the fresh gardens are so avant-garde, they're so sort of dangerously edgy that, well, you'd scare the neighbours if you put them in.
There are some people who come to Chelsea and they don't quite like the boundaries being pushed that much, do they?
Well, no, but garden design is a dynamic thing. It's always changing, always evolving, and what will seem wacky and crazy one year, a decade down the line, will be normal. And I think that's the wonderful thing about the Chelsea Flower Show. You've got the full range here. You've got high design. You've also got people that are thinking outside the box. And I love the fresh garden category for that.
They're great, aren't they? Now, we've given you a new title this year, haven't we? We've called you Dr. Buckland. Explain why.
Well, I am Dr. Buckland because I am here at Chelsea to answer viewers' questions. Now, it's always lovely to hear from viewers and for people to get in touch and share their garden problems. Now, at Chelsea Flower Show, we've got every type of plant, the huge palette of ideas as well of how to use them. And I always think the gardens here are made up of lots of little ingredients. You can bundle them together to work almost anywhere. So if someone's got dry shade or a soggy garden or a slope to deal with, sort of a design issue, slippy paths, for example, I can show good ways of dealing with those things here at the show, and that's my role.
And I think what's great about these fresh gardens is they are small, but they do they go against this idea that if you've got a small space, there's not really that much you can do with it.
No, that's true. I mean, on the telly, gardens like this look like acreage, don't they? But they're really not. They're only 3 metres wide. No. and there are ideas in here that are so simple to copy, as long as you've just got the recipe to do that, and that's what I'm going to be giving out.
Right, you're the man to talk to. Well, if you do need Dr. Buckland's help with your garden design problem, or you may even have a Chelsea standard garden at home that you'd like to share with us, we do want to hear from you. So do email us at mychelsea@bbc.co.uk and Toby will start solving your problems tomorrow.
Now, every year, celebrity florist Simon Lycett arrives like a whirlwind at Chelsea to help the RHS with displays and live events. His enthusiasm for arranging is infectious. But for Simon, floristry is a serious business, with rich and famous clientele hanging off his every petal. He's often still working the Oasis past midnight and lives in a world where clients and budgets are a closely guarded secret. But for the first time ever, Simon has allowed the Chelsea cameras in to show us a world that even his clients rarely see. The floral stagings of a very special party.
We've got a massive event on tonight. It's a huge dinner for a very important client at the Natural History Museum. The workroom's hectic, we've got flowers everywhere. We've not got long, so come and I'll show you a few of our secrets. Now, I can't tell you much about our client. In fact, it's really secret squirrel, the whole thing. We've done some amazing events throughout the world for her, and this is a very special party for her 75th birthday. It's been a week's work for a team of half a dozen of us to get this far. These bluebells are so stiff. I know.
It's a shame the mascara aren't really.
Yeah, but you can wire those.
I'm having trouble making them stand up.
The theme for tonight's party is really a celebration of late spring, early summer. It's really an abundance of flowers in soft shades. It's a very dramatic setting, so we're trying to create decorations that have got a bit of contrast to them but also have some drama. It's a huge space, so everything we do needs to have quite a lot of impact. So it's 2 o'clock, so we've got not long now. The van will be here in an hour, and we've got trolleys of stuff everywhere, all of which need to be loaded. In addition to our huge, wonderful blossom trees, which will be 12 foot tall on the tables, at the base are these cute little mossed pots of lily of the valley that smell divine. And you'll be wondering, why have we got boxes of dinosaurs? Well, actually, one of the tables is for our clients' grandchildren, and so we're going to tuck in little dinosaurs all in amongst the flowers because they're in the Natural History Museum. Okay, guys, the bands are here. If you do 2 this way, you'll get your 4 on, and then the last 2 can go in just leaning up at an angle, I think. So we've got an hour to get this lot in, so on we go. So we're just going to land the 2 trees up on our plinths here, making sure they're on the lovely drugget to protect the ancient stonework. And then we're weighting them at the base with some nice stage weights, and then we're going to put some fabulous flowers on the front. So sheets of moss cover a multitude of sins. Job's nearly done. We're getting there, because we've got to get there. Because if we don't... I need to go right directly under the dinosaur's head. Perfect. Fabulous. Done. So we've got our occasional tables positioned, bar decoration done, the big arrangement, tables all laid, candles are lit. That's it. You've got loads of gorgeous, sexy shots of all our beautiful flowers. So no more filming. Cut. That's it. We're done. Come on. We're off.
So come on, you've got to tell us, who was that party for?
If I told you that, I'd never have another client. Discretion is my watchword.
Oh, well, there are some very well-known clients you can tell us about, aren't there?
Yes, we were fortunate enough to do the flowers on the film 4 Weddings and a Funeral. I'm famous for doing the Beckham's wedding flowers and the flowers at the wedding reception of the Prince of Wales to the Duchess of Cornwall.
Well, we saw just how much work goes into preparing for one night, one event. I mean, a week it took you to get that together for the Natural History Museum.
A good week for 7 or 8 people, yes. I mean, everything we do is very labour intensive, and as you saw, a lot of it is in the planning for that dynamic last 45-minute get-in.
And do you get nervous now?
We get an adrenaline rush, we get a buzz. It's quite hard to go home from having put that event in and go to bed, even though it could be at an ungodly hour. Actually, you need to sort of come down having had your performance moment.
And this is something you've been doing for a very, very long time, since you were a child.
Yes, since the age of 7, slightly precocious child, but it's all I've ever wanted to do, and I'm lucky to work with this abundance of fabulous flower, doing something that I still love 40 years later.
And what does it mean to you coming to Chelsea, coming to see all this?
Well, the thing that sparked me as a 7-year-old was going to my local town flower show in Warwick, and ever since then I got the bug, and being in a tent, the smell of foliage and flower and horticulturalists all together in a tent is really, it takes me straight back, and it's the thing that sparked the passion.
And also the people that you meet over the week. I mean, there are people who are absolutely passionate, aren't there, about floristry?
Yes, I mean, there will be people here who have travelled across the world to come and see the finest of Britain's flowers and the finest of Britain's floristry, and we are world leaders in floristry.
Well, if floristry is your thing, you've got a real treat in store. On Wednesday and Thursday, we'll be finding out who's won both Young Florist and Florist of the Year. And we haven't seen the last of Simon either, because tomorrow and Friday on BBC One, he will be doing live floristry for us and teaching some enthusiastic amateurs some tricks of the trade. Can't wait.
We have 3 shows coming up for you tomorrow if you're worried about your next Chelsea fix. Joining me on BBC Two every evening this week is a man who definitely knows his way around a garden. Monty,
hello, Jeff.
Lovely to see you. Now, you've done your leg in.
I have. It's as simple as that. I've done my leg in. It happened last week, and there we are. But I can get around. As long as I've got a stick, nothing will stop me.
Nothing's going to stop you getting around these
No,
gardens?
and I've had a bit of a look already.
Okay.
Haven't been here long, and I'm starting to see some patterns build up. And you know that when you're a regular visitor to any show, but particularly Chelsea, every year produces colours, themes, even just sort of rather inarticulate feelings. And I'm picking up on those already.
Already, I've had a good look around, and there's some real formal ones, there's the informal, there's some blues and purples, and
well, I think the purple's the colour.
Purple.
It's these burgundy colours, purple, sometimes very subtle, sometimes really strong. That's certainly I'm noticing.
And also the artisan gardens. I mean, you mustn't forget the smaller gardens, because these show gardens are spectacular, and a lot of people come to see those. But the artisan gardens, the fresh gardens, are so worth going to have a look at.
Absolutely, and in fact, in recent years, I would say very often produce the most interesting ideas and plant combinations. I haven't had a chance to see them yet. What I have noticed, and you can't help but admire, and it always takes your breath away, is for example, on the Telegraph Garden and the Long Perry Garden, next to each other, there is a level of expertise that is just so much above anything you see normally.
Oh, you're sticking your neck out already when it comes to medals, but I think you're right.
Expertise, I'm not talking about medals.
No, but there's 2 or 3 that already sing out to me, and I'm looking to pick a little hole or make a couple. Would that planting combination really work? And there's 2 or 3 gardens where the plant quality just goes, wow, it sings out.
Don't you think what's also been wonderful just the last few days, because it's quite funny seeing some of these gardens with nobody except us on them, and just watching the teams put these gardens together, and the love and the hard work that goes into them. And it's a huge team effort.
Well, some of them
isn't it?
haven't finished. I mean, there are some who are really up against it, and in this heat, you can feel the pressure building, because as the assessors go round, actually they are already making judgments in their mind. So really experienced garden designers will want to have their garden finished and looking amazing before the assessors come, let alone the judges tomorrow.
One of the things that I love about working on this show is that we get a chance to see them over a period of time. Instead of a normal visitor, you just get a snapshot, and decisions are made and judgments made. But if you've got a chance just to live with them, see them at different weather, different times of day, most of them improving hugely with acquaintance.
And we're so privileged because we get to go on them, actually, and like you say, get that mood, get that feeling of how it feels when you're in a garden.
Well, gorgeous today, gorgeous tomorrow, but the rest of the week, let's hope it holds. Come on, we're going to have lots of sunshine this week. I think that's the way into it.
Yeah, I think we can worry about that later. Today and tomorrow, that's far enough. I can't see beyond that at the moment.
Well, that is all we've got time for tonight on this exclusive Chelsea preview show. So far, we have only teased you with the delights to come.
Nikki Chapman and Andy Sturgeon will be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. looking at more gardens and nurseries and talking to first-time Chelsea designer Matthew Childs. Sophie and I will be back at 7:30 on BBC One talking to actor and keen gardener Benedict Cumberbatch.
And I'll be here tomorrow night on BBC Two at 8 o'clock with Jo as the Queen arrives to give her royal approval, and we'll be meeting some of the new designers on Main Avenue.
So remember, you can start pressing your red button from midday tomorrow to find Chris Beardshaw and designer Anne-Marie Powell taking an in-depth look at the first 5 of the large show gardens. Just to clarify, it is midday tomorrow, and you need to watch every day so you can decide which garden you're going to vote for to win the BBC RHS People's Choice Award on Thursday.
Don't forget to send Toby Buckland your design problems. We need a short description of your problem and a picture. Now remember, he doesn't want to hear about your specific plant problems, so keep your wilt to yourself. It's all about design. Send your emails to mychelsea@bbc.co.uk.
Well, that's all from us here at Chelsea Now. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
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 The series that grew and grew. Catch every moment of the big allotment challenge from BBC Two. It's available to download now on BBC iPlayer.
Rio de Janeiro, host to this year's World Cup. But this paradise is also a city divided by class and ravaged by poverty and crime. Filmmaker Julian Temple captures this city of extremes.
Imagine Rio 50 degrees. Carry On Karaoke, tonight at 10:30 on BBC One.
They have got one sole purpose, that is to find that one item that's going to change their life.
Flames are beautiful.
Made nice money, that is. Nice money.
If it was authentic, you know,
£200,000?
I mean, nobody really truly can sell rubbish like I can.
Meet the real-life Del Boys and Dealers starts Wednesday at 9 on BBC One.